6 notorious Liverpool crime families who ended up behind bars. As great as Liverpool is for living, the city has an aversion to crime, like many other cities and nations. Crime in Liverpool is an aberration, and it's not tolerated in the region as a whole. Some of the region's most notorious criminals are family members who inundate the streets with drugs. These criminals could continue their illegal exploits as a family by ruling their neighbourhoods through violence and intimidation. The criminal empires they built leave a trail of misery. We can count a number of them, but we don't have the luxury. This video will only show 6 notorious Liverpool crime families who ended up behind bars. They had a fierce battle against the long arm of the law. 1. The Fitzgibbon Family. This story is about Jason and Ian Fitzgibbon, both jailed in 2013 alongside their mum Christine. Their offence? They were convicted of an attempt to flood the UK with Turkish heroin. Thanks to the Turkish Police smashing of an Istanbul-based drug gang, there was a trail that led back to South Liverpool. A bug was planted in Christine's South Liverpool home, which recorded Jason's conversation with Ian about crime and drugs. That was the exposé of the whole crime. Part of what was recorded by the bug planted in their family home on Edale Road by the serious organised crime agency, the SOCA, the brothers bicker in the presence of their mum Christine about who was the better drug dealer. While listening back to the recordings, detectives were astounded when they heard Jason and Ian rowing over who could be recognised as the more adept criminal. Manchester Crown Court heard that it would have cost €300,000 to buy the 60% pure heroin wholesale from Turkey. When sold on the streets of Liverpool, it would have cost £7 million. Ian admitted an £800,000 plan to flood Merseyside with 168,000 ecstasy tablets. Their mum also admitted laundering £180,000 cash, proceeds of drugs, which was found hidden beneath floorboards. She was jailed for 2 years. Jason, who was 40 years old then, and Ian, 39, were given a total of more than 30 years. 2. Darren, Daniel and Stephen G. The G family were the terror of the Grizedale Estate in Everton in the mid-2000s. They turned the estate into an open-air drug market by violent criminals. They were so dreadful that ordinary families in the neighbourhood had to look the other way. The gangsters almost turned the residential estate into an enclave where there was no rule of law. G brothers Darren and Daniel dominated the back streets and alleyways on the estate in North Liverpool. During a clash with a rival crime group gang, there was a spate of shootings leading to the killing of Craig Barker, a friend of the G's. To avenge the death, Darren G organised an operation that led to the cold-blooded murder of David Regan, the owner of a car wash in Old Swan. The criminal associates of the G's let off a series of massive car bombings outside nightclubs, family homes and even police stations. In all, they were profiled to be associated with all serious violence and drug dealings in the area. Police set up a community task force at Walton Lane Police Station to hunt down Darren and Daniel's crime group. They were convicted of the murder of Tony Bromley in 2009 and also for conspiring to purchase guns and threatening to murder teenager Jamie Starkey. Daniel was jailed indefinitely in 2010. Darren had earlier been handed 18 years imprisonment in 2006 for attempting to revenge the murder of Dad of 5 David Regan. As for Stephen G, he disguised as a Liverpool City Council officer in order to con a 77-year-old widower. He lured the pensioner to drive home, showing him a fake ID. He demanded that the septuagenarian hand over £1,000 as a fine or £100 deposit. Stephen punched him in the face when he said he didn't have anything. He also kicked him several times and stamped on him. He was jailed 6 years and 8 months with an extended 4 years on licence. 3. The Clark Brothers. Peter Clark, an army corporal turned drugs baron, was colluding with security firm boss Stephen, his brother, to orchestrate shipments of cannabis and cocaine from Merseyside to Northern Ireland. These dreaded criminals operated a gang that had access to a cache of guns, machetes and samurai swords. They were jailed for a combined number of more than 26 years in November 2013. As an army officer in the King's Regiment, Peter was a former weapon instructor. He admitted that he was organising the cocaine conspiracy, and his brother Stephen admitted to managing a network of cannabis farms. 4. The Showers Brothers. Notorious drug barons Michael and Delroy Showers from Toxteth were each accused of separate high-profile international drug plots. Infamous crime lord Delroy Showers was given a 14-year sentence in 2009 over a clandestine plot to smuggle just over £1 million worth of amphetamines into Denmark. In 2014, however, the Foreign Office affirmed that he had been extradited to the UK, where he would finish his term. Older brother Michael was involved in an international smuggling plot. In the streets of Toxteth, he was known for his white Rolls-Royce acquired from the proceeds of drugs. He spent years in Turkish jail for this. The Showers always denied the allegations, complaining about the squalid conditions of the Istanbul prison and his lack of faith in the Turkish justice system. 5. The Mulir Brothers. Let's next talk about Joseph and Gregory Mulir. The brothers lived the high life and were flying to different places like Ibiza, Tenerife, France and the US for massive drug plots. Joseph, then 44 and dad of 2, was described by the police as the hands-off principal of an ultra-secretive criminal organisation. Rather than get his hands dirty, he was directing others to produce, store, collect and distribute their illicit drugs to gangs across England and Scotland. Gregory, then 40, also dad of 2 kids, also had a leading role, though subordinate to Joseph. He was more hands-on. Yet he had drivers to whom he issued instructions. He had phone records revealing significant contacts between him and his drug dealers. The jet-setting brothers were apprehended by armed police in Thailand in November 2018. They spent more than a year at large before voluntarily returning to Britain, preferring there to a squalid Thai prison. In December 2019, Liverpool Crown Court jailed the pair for a total of 28 years over plots said to have been worth many millions of pounds. In the momentous trial, 21 members of the syndicate were sentenced to a total jail term of 189 years in connection with seizures of cocaine valued at £66,000, MDMA valued at £208,000, amphetamine valued at £336,000 and cannabis valued £420,000, together with £80,000 in cash. Even then, detectives think that what was recovered is only a fraction of the drugs the syndicate trafficked. They discovered that some 200,000 ecstasy tablets were manufactured, mostly from a machine in the cellar of a Clifton Road property, Birkenhead. Their operation is with staggering professionalism and structured organisation. They used encrypted PGP phones to protect clandestine communications. 6. The Whitney Gang. The Whitney family were at some point the head of a massive criminal network. The family gang came from the Anfield area, but they bought plush pads in a lucrative area of the city from their ill-gotten gains. They were in a 24-hour business of heroin and crack cocaine. They flooded the streets of Liverpool with hard substances. Their targets were the city's desperate addicts. In November 2011, the Notorious Gang and their associates were given a sentence of 82 years in total in jail for conspiracy to supply Class A drugs. In all, 13 members of the Whitney drug gang were convicted. Individual sentences range from 2 to 9 years. As a family, they were kept under surveillance by detectives of Merseyside Police for years, having escaped many attempts of Operation Malton to take them down. Their ringleader, Paul Whitney of Fazakerley, who was then 32, was jailed for 9 years and 4 months, while his associate Matthew Mayer, then 37 years from Haydock, bagged 8 years and 4 months. Matthew went to extraordinary lengths to avoid or resist arrest by even hurling 2 kilograms of heroin out of his Mercedes car while being chased. Carol Whitney from Walton was the banker of the drugs ring. She was locked up for 8 years, the same with gang member Michael O'Toole. Other members of the gang were Carol's husband Leslie Whitney, Mary McCabe from Walton and her daughter Emma Mackenzie, and Anthony Whitney, among others. You may have heard about other exploits of these Liverpool crime families or others perpetrating crime in Liverpool. Please, let's hear from you and what you think about this matter. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell.